had a dream that I was supposed to go to Jamaica. And it was around Mother's Day. So I called my mother and
Mm-hmm.
said, "Would you mind if I went to Jamaica? Um, would you mind if I went to Jamaica instead of us doing Mother's Day?" And my mother is such a wonderful, beautiful, free spirit. She definitely has imparted that in me.
Right.
In 48 hours, um, that I was going to leave from the time I
Mm-hmm.
decided to go. As soon as I got off the plane, I could I felt like I was at home. And I had traveled all over the world. I'd never felt that anywhere else I had gone.
Welcome to At the Table with D. Monique. Pull up a chair, sit down, relax, and let's chat. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to At the Table with D. Monique. I'm your host, D. Monique, and our special guest today is Miss Jessica Haughton. Hey, Jessica.
Hey, D Monique, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for agreeing to come on. And let me just let the listeners know. I know my voice sounds odd. Um, I found out a few days ago that I have a sinus infection. So I'm so happy to actually be able to talk to you guys because I wasn't able to talk a few days ago. Yeah, so my voice was very low, Jessica. So this is like a strong day of vocals for me. Um, so I'm so happy that during our time of your interview that I'm feeling a lot better.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, I just always like to take a moment to thank the listeners because if you guys were not on the other end listening, this would all kind of be in vain, right? So thank you for listening. If you would please take a moment, like the page, share it with friends and family because I feel like we have really good stories that we share here. And sometimes there's just one or two little things that said that can impact someone else's life. Okay. So, and then leave me a comment. You guys know I want to know if you have good news, if you have a snack suggestion, or if you want to come on to be a guest. Leave me a comment below. Let me know, what's going on, what you want to say to me. Um, Miss Jessica, as as I ask all my guests to bring on a snack because one of my favorite segments of this podcast is snack time.
Yay!
Yes, I love good food and I like good snacks. But before we eat our snacks, we do need to take a moment to say a prayer. I always kind of dedicate this moment to my great grandmother Lucille, who always, taught us to make sure we pray before we eat. So we're just going to take a moment and say a prayer of thanks. So, Heavenly Father, we thank you for this food that we're about to receive. We ask that you let it bring some nourishment to our bodies. We thank you for this and all other blessings. In your son Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So, Jessica, you are our guest. So I'm going to let you go first with, sharing your snack. But listeners, if you do not have a snack, please pause the podcast, go get your snack and come back because listen, if you don't have a good, snack, we're not going to have a good conversation. So take a moment, pause the podcast, come back. Grab a snack and come back to the table. Okay. Now, Jessica, tell us what you're snacking on today.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you before I show you. Okay, because
Okay.
it was really beautiful to begin with. All right,
Okay.
I made these amazing quesadillas. All right, I made
Ooh.
them with yes, I made them with Beyond. I was looking for some Beyond meat, but I couldn't find any. So I used what I had. I had Beyond Italian hot sausages. So
Mm.
cut them all up, put them in a pan with some hot oil. I forgot it's called. It's a spicy oil that I use. So put that in there. Put some garlic in there, some cilantro, onion, some black beans, What else I put in there? Some tomato, and I made some quesadillas, and they're so good. Oh my God,
That
they're so
sounds
good.
delicious.
They're so good. But I went to warm them up right before I came on the podcast, and I kind of burnt them. I kind of burnt them a little.
Oh,
I kind
listen.
of burnt them, but I love stuff crispy, so it's gonna work
Hmm.
out. I'm still gonna eat them.
Yes, please eat them and let us know. On this podcast, we eat, so please do a taste test for us.
Oh,
Let us know
okay,
how they taste.
okay. Mm-hmm. You hear the crispy? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the
Still
flavor's
yummy.
still there.
The flavor is still there. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And we're not going to call it burnt. We're going to call it blackened.
Okay. Okay. Blackened quesadillas. Blackened quesadillas. Yes.
Yes.
Blackened quesadillas. Yes. 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 And I'm drinking on some tea. I drink tea all morning, every morning of my life. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Tell us, show us what kind of tea you're drinking.
So I made this little mixture. When
Mhm.
I lived in Jamaica, I started drinking meringue tea. And grandmother told me to drink tea every morning. So I started drinking tea
Mhm.
back then, like 11 years ago. So my tea I drink today, I don't know if you can see it, it's meringue. I
Mhm.
put a couple of drops of chlorophyll in.
Okay.
I put in ginger and lemon. And it's a little zesty, it's a little
That's
spicy.
that's a good
Hmm. And some
combination.
days I like it a little sweet, so I'll put a little agave in it. But some days I don't want it sweet. Some days you're sweet, some days you're not. So, yeah,
Right, right.
that's my tea. And I drink tea all morning.
Well, Jessica, I didn't know this. Well, I don't know if you are, but are you vegan or
I,
ITAL?
I'm vegan. Sometimes I backslide.
Uh
Sometimes I
huh.
backslide. But for the most part, my body loves me being vegan. My body loves,
Nice.
my mind likes the this and that, but my body tells me in a heartbeat, oh no, this isn't for you. So I've been on this journey for about 3 years now. No, 4 years. Wow, about 4 years
Mm.
now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I think we're around the same amount of years of being vegan.
You're
So
vegan too?
I started 2019. Yeah.
That's whenever I started. Yeah.
Wow. What a
Wow, that's
coincidence.
amazing. Yeah, wow. And I love cooking vegan. You want to see it? I have a full recipe book. I have a full recipe book of vegan recipes. I it's amazing. I love being vegan. I love it. I love it. So, what made you
Mhm.
go vegan?
Well, I was having some health issues, and I've always kind of played around with not eating meat, especially during the beginning of the year. Going along with different churches. My church didn't do it, but friends of mine, their church would do the Daniel fast, and so I would do it with them. And during that time, honestly, I didn't miss the meat. Um, and watching different health documentaries, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should, because of all the drugs that they were putting into the animals. Because if you look at some of those documentaries, the animals are not kept in great conditions, right? And so it's like, I didn't want to eat the sick meat. Basically that was it. And so I was like, all those things that they're putting into the animal, when I eat it, I'm consuming it. So there's a challenge that happens in January called Veganuary. And so I did it for 30 days, January of 2019. I say 29, was it 2018? I don't know. I'll just stick with 2019.
Mm-hmm.
2019, and I did it for 30 days, and I've been doing it ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my short little vegan story.
Mhm.
But I'll share with you guys my snack. So where I live, there's a grocery store called Food Lion, and I popped in there one day. I think I needed some tomatoes, and they had a you know how they do the little front advertisement, you know, like the hot items for the week, and they had this brand of snacks called Spudsy, and it is sweet potato fries,
Oh.
but they are hot fries. And I remember as a teenager, like going to the convenience store and getting those hot fries,
I love
right? And they were
those.
so good. Jessica, one thing I've talked to the guests about or the listeners is about portion control because you know when you have a good snack it is so easy, right, to like just take your hand and eat out of the bag. And so I did measure out a serving is
Oh,
28 grams, which is 1 ounce. So I measured out so that I can really enjoy these.
very
Okay.
nice.
Yes. So
Yes.
yes, so I hope it tastes good. So let's see what they're doing with
Okay,
these sweet potato hot fries.
let's see.
Oh, wait a minute. It's pretty good. It's not, I'll be honest, it's not like the hot fries that I remember as a teenager. And I think that maybe because it's made from sweet potatoes, but
Uh-huh.
this is
Are they
good. It has a
close?
yes, it has a nice crunch, nice spice. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Spudsy.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to try those.
Yeah. And also just like you, Jessica, I have tea.
Yay.
Yes, because of what everything that's going on with with my sinuses and everything.
Mhm.
I made a tea. I actually got this allergy relief tea from a
Mhm.
local farmers market. And so it's
Nice.
like the loose leaf tea, and then I just steeped it for a while, and then I added a squeeze of lemon. So that's what I will
Mhm.
be sipping on.
Cheers.
So cheers. Yes. So let me tell you guys about Jessica and why I have asked her to come on today. So I think it was like 2016. I took my very first trip to Jamaica, and it was such a great trip that I took with a group called Reggae Runners, who are now like my family, my cousins from all around the US, right? And I remember Jessica offered I think it was a sunrise yoga class, right? Is that what the class was called?
Stand up paddleboard yoga or
Stand
liquid
up paddleboard.
yoga.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I remember that was one of the like excursions, that was offered to us. And I remember I had you go around when you're with a big group, you go around and you chat with everybody. But I remember chatting with Jessica, and I remember her telling me that she was a Navy veteran, right? And so, military people, you kind of like, put a little side note, oh, okay, you my people. And she had such a bubbly personality. And one thing that I have observed, because we did become Facebook friends, is that Jessica lives life according to her own rules. I don't know if you all have ever traveled somewhere outside of the US and you thought, man, this is so nice. I wish I lived here. I wish I could, like live here part of the year. And so Jessica has done that. Thank you so much for coming on
Thank
to tell
you.
us your
Thank you.
story.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
Yeah.
much.
So how are you feeling today?
I'm on cloud nine. This morning at 7:30 a.m., my great granddaughter was born.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I I knew. I listen. I knew your granddaughter. What you? I mean, your grandson. Your
Yeah.
right. Your grandson was waiting for the arrival of the baby, and it happened today.
This morning, yeah.
Oh my gosh! How wonderful!
So I'm elated. I'm on cloud nine. I'm just amazed. God is so amazing, and I never imagined to have such a legacy in my life. So I'm very grateful this morning. Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
congratulations!
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So you're gonna have to send me a picture once you get a chance to go meet her. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna meet her
Oh,
on Friday. We'll meet her on
oh.
Friday. Yeah.
I know those are tears of joy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow, what a blessing.
Yeah, she's so beautiful. Yeah, thank
I
you. Thank
bet.
you.
I
Thank you.
bet. Oh, so Jessica, tell me, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I
Okay.
grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in a
Hmm.
town called Wilkinsburg. Wilkinsburg, but I went to high school in East Liberty in Pittsburgh. It's all Pittsburgh though. Yeah, I'm a Pittsburgher.
Okay. And like I mentioned, you joined the Navy. Did you join the Navy from there?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. How old were
Yes.
you at the time when you joined the Navy?
I was 19.
Okay. So
Mhm.
basically fresh out of high school,
Well, yes,
like
I
like
graduated
a
from
year
high
or so.
school. Yeah, I graduated from high school at 17 because
Okay.
I had a baby in high school. And
Okay.
so, I joined, she was about 10 months old, maybe 18 months old. 18 months old. Yeah, she was walking.
Okay. And so
Yeah.
was she your motivation to join the Navy?
Yes. At first, I I I, I was actually married,
Mhm.
and I was married at 17, and
Okay.
I had left my husband, and I had barely made it out of high school because I had a baby in high school. I barely made it out of high school and didn't have any, aspirations of going to college. I had a baby and I
Mhm.
wasn't going to college. So I went to beauty college. I was there for 2 weeks. I'm a beauty school dropout. And
Oh, so
then
you're a
one
pink
day,
lady.
yeah, I'm a pink lady. I'm a beauty school dropout.
Yes.
So I just decided I had to get out of Pittsburgh. It was getting rough. I didn't
Mhm.
have much education. I didn't want to become a statistic. And so
Okay.
I went through the yellow pages and found the military. I tried to join the Marines. They wouldn't take me with a baby. Ended up joining the Navy, and my parents took care of my little girl. And I went and did my thing.
Nice. Now, how many years did you spend in the Navy?
Just four. Yeah, just four.
Okay. That is an enlistment, not just for.
Right,
Don't say
right, right,
just.
right,
Yeah,
right,
because
right.
listen,
I did an enlistment. Thank you, thank you.
yes, you did. You
True,
completed
true,
an enlistment. Yes.
true,
Um,
true.
and where did you go during that time in the Navy?
I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay. Did you
hmm
enjoy living in Virginia?
it was interesting. It was good. It was, it
Yeah.
was, it was okay. Yeah,
Yeah, it
it
probably
was a
I'm thinking
good.
it's probably like the same speed of where you were from, kind of like a busy area.
It was a little less city. I lived near Virginia Beach, but it
Mm-hmm.
was mostly like my life was military life, you know. And
Yeah.
and my children by then, because by then I had two children, and then
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Virginia and had three children. So
Okay.
so yeah, yeah.
Did um did you ever, when you're in the Navy, did you ever have a chance to travel out of the country, like for a TDY or for a short mission or anything like that?
No, I was only
No?
stationed in Virginia. No.
Oh, okay. I asked because during my active duty time, I was active duty for 6 years, and I
Uh-huh.
spent four or more of those years stationed overseas.
Wow, how
And so,
nice.
yeah, and so that kind of like gave me a travel bug, and like, yeah.
Yes.
So I didn't know if maybe that, if the Navy kind of gave me that travel bug.
Uh, I was at home baking cookies and going to PTA meetings and sewing clothes and you know, doing
Okay.
all that stuff. Yeah.
So, so you spent your 4 years in the Navy. What'd you do after you got out of the Navy?
I just stayed home and was a mom. I was a stay-at-home mom for many years. I had
Uh-huh.
small jobs. I worked for Marriott or
Mm-hmm.
but for many years I was a stay-at-home mom until I moved to California and then I worked and kind of was a stay-at-home mom a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
just, that's mostly what I did.
Listen, I don't know how other people feel about California, but I did have a chance to spend some time there. And when I think about California, I can only think about how it made me felt like not, what I did so much there, but how I felt. And it's just like a happy place to me. Like thinking about California gives me joy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
California's magnificent. Yeah.
Yeah. I see where people want to go to California, not because of the gold, it's no gold rush anymore, but I understand why people love California. So
Yeah.
tell us, how did you end up? Like, how'd you make the decision to move to beautiful Jamaica?
It just happened. I
Yeah.
was in network marketing,
Uh-huh.
a business called Artists, where we sold these garments. I don't know if you remember the Body Magic. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I had a large organization, I helped a lot of people, traveled a lot, um, and one night I had a dream that I was supposed to go to Jamaica. And it was around Mother's Day. So I called my mother and
Mm-hmm.
said, "Would you mind if I went to Jamaica? Um, would you mind if I went to Jamaica instead of us doing Mother's Day?" And my mother is such a wonderful, beautiful, free spirit. She definitely has imparted that in me.
Right.
So she has. So I found a trip for $500 round trip to Jamaica. I asked many people if they could go with me. It was in 48 hours um, that I was going to leave from the time I
Mm-hmm.
decided to go. No one could go with me. I went on my own. As soon as I got off the plane, I could I felt like I was at home. I felt like and I had traveled all over the world. I've been to Italy, I've been to Australia, I've been to Canada, I've been to Belize, I've been to Cancun, I've been so many places. My passport is like I've been a lot of places, but I had never been to Jamaica
Yeah.
and I had never felt that anywhere else I had gone. So as soon as I took the first breath of the air, that it just came over me. So
Mm-hmm.
went on about my business, got on the taxi to take me to the hotel. And as soon as I get to the hotel, I go out and there was a jet ski driver. We don't have the
Mm-hmm.
jet skis there anymore. But I said, "Are you here for me?" He said, "Yep." I, he, I got my money and he drove me all the way up and down. And a lot happened. Like I had this spiritual awakening during that time, but I don't want to take too much time,
No, take all
but
the time.
But it was pretty amazing. He took me to this island. You know the island, Booby Cay. Booby Cay, that's
Yeah,
what they call
yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It took me to Booby Cay. So there were some guys sitting there and chilling. I figured we were gonna sit there and chill out, take a break because we were going up and down and up and down and so
Yeah.
so he said, "No, follow me." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "I don't have any shoes on." And he said, "It's okay. It'll be okay." And we walked down this path through these woods,
Mhm.
and I'm looking down to make sure I don't step on anything. I'm not used to walking without any shoes on, you know?
Right.
I'm used to being in my life in California with my high heels on and doing my network marketing and talking, but I felt very empty. So
Mhm.
this was filling me up from the minute I got there. So I'm looking down, making sure because there's weeds, it's a path, but it's not a real clear path. So you
Right.
kind of gotta move your way through it. So I look up, and all of a sudden all I saw was water. I was like, "Oh God, dear God, wow, where am I?" So I asked him if he could leave me alone for a minute. He said, "Yeah, no problem." He said, "I'll walk back to where the guys are. You'll be okay. Nobody will come and mess with you." I said, "Okay." I took my bathing suit off and I put my body into the water. I put my head in the water underneath, and something just came over me. And
Yeah.
I, I said a prayer. I said, "God, if this is where you want me to be, I'll walk it out. I'll walk it out. Whatever I have to do, I'll do." Came out of the water, put my suit back on, walked back by myself. I knew the path now. I wasn't looking down anymore. I was okay. I was all
Yeah.
right to walk. Walked back, get back on the jet ski, go back. And I was like, wow, I'm going to live here. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't even know why. But the spirit is letting me know that,
Mhm.
okay, let's go. So the next day, a guy comes along. He says, "Do you want to go on a tour?" I said, "No, I don't want to go on any tours. I don't want to be in any buses. I don't want to do anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
Please. I don't want to do anything at all." So he said, "I promise you the bus is small." I said, "Okay, the bus is small. I don't want to be on a big bus. I don't want anything big. I want to, I want to get compartmentalized. I want to hermit myself. I want to feel it." So he finally talked me into it. He talked me into it. So the next day, go, or no, later that day, go. He takes me. I have a lot of problems with my shoulders here. I carry a lot of knots because I carry a lot of issues because I carry a lot of stuff. And people
Mhm.
see me, they see, "Oh, you're so happy, you're this and that," but they don't know. They don't, like the song Chronic sings. They don't know. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside.
Yeah.
So so takes me to Mayfield Falls, and I'm walking through the rocks. I had fallen hiking years ago in the area that I live now. Ironically, I had fallen, so I was real scared. I was real timid, real
Right.
trepid, you know. And they took care of me. They took
Mhm.
care of me. They
Mhm.
took care of me. It was an unattached where it wasn't about we like you or we want you or anything like that.
Right.
It was true human care, and it
Mhm.
captured my spirit. It captured me. I was like, who are these people? Who are these people? It was just I had never really experienced that.
Yeah.
So so then they put me under this rushing high rushing falls, and it was all down on my shoulders, and I tell you what, it healed me. It healed
Yeah.
me. It healed
Yeah.
me. It healed me. When I went back, I didn't feel it for a long time, but There's more. So anyway, so then the next day, the driver that took me the first day, he said, I have somewhere I want to take you. I said, okay. He said, I want to take you to, oh gosh, I should have wrote this all down. I should have
That's
wrote it
okay.
down.
Take your
I should have
time.
wrote it down. It's not Mayfield Falls. It's where Dr. Scott is. And so I'm gonna come with the name. I'm seeing everything that happens. So he takes me into this cave. It's the caves. Anybody that's listening will know where I'm talking about. But I'm gonna come. It's gonna come to
It'll
me. It's
come
gonna
back to
come to
you.
me. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna come to me. So he takes me there, and there's these Jamaican girls. They're getting this scrub, like the scrubs you see that they do on the bamboos, right? But it was in the
Yeah.
caves. You had to walk down into the caves, and it was real dark. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this driver. I'm just like, okay, trust. I had to
Yeah.
get trust, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So go down there, and then there's this Rasta, and he says, "This is Dr. Scott. This is Jessica." So Dr. Scott said, "Okay." So he started doing and then he looked, and I had piercings. He wanted all my piercings out, all the piercings out, everything out. So I was like, I can only take out so much. I had a belly button pierce. I know I'm pointing down, but it was just my belly button. So,
Uh-huh.
so anyway, just want to get clear for the listeners, just in case. No judgment on anyone that does, but I'm just saying I
Right.
don't. So
Right.
okay.
Right.
So so anyway, he starts scrubbing. He scrubs all it's like sulfur rock on me. So 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 he says, come. So then he says, he takes me to this little um entryway, this little pathway. It was like this big, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he says, you're gonna you're gonna kneel down, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna lay back, and 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 then he went behind me. I was laid down by this time. He went behind me. He crunched down because you couldn't stand up in it. He
Right.
crunched
Because it's a
down.
cave.
Right, it's a cave. It's a very small part of a bigger cave, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he takes me by my shoulders and he pulls me through. And there's water underneath me. He pulls me through and he lets my shoulders go. And for a third of a second, I was like, because it was black, it was pitch black. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, whoa, like, what are we doing? But
Right.
then something just took over me where I was like, okay, all right, okay, just trust, it's gonna be
Yeah.
okay. So So it says release, release, release. And I just start crying. Snacks start running out of my nose. I'm just releasing
Yeah.
everything in my whole life, just releasing. So then it takes me, pushes my shoulders back through. I stand up. I'm shaking. And there's just snot and tears, and my face is just soaking wet.
Yeah.
The Jamaican girls are over here with getting scrubbed, and they're like, what did you do to her? And they're like, you all right? And then I just looked at them, and like I couldn't even speak. So then the next day I went home back to Long Beach. I lived on the 17th floor downtown Long Beach. My house overlooked the ocean on this side, the city on this side. And I got there and I was frozen. I was frozen. I was like, I have to go back. I have to
Yeah.
go. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
go. I gotta
Yeah.
go. I gotta go. I was walking around in the same dress from there and just walking back and forth, ordering from the thing downstairs because I couldn't even leave the building. I was just frozen. I was frozen. So this was 2010. It's
Mm-hmm.
2010. So I just made a decision. I was like, I have to go. I have to go move there. I have to go live there. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know how I'm going to do it. But I have to go. I have to
Yeah.
go. So I called my parents. I told my parents. I told my family. And then at the time I was doing network marketing, had a meeting every week at the Grand, and with 125 to 200 people that would come and listen to me, share with them a business opportunity and
Mhm.
just an opportunity to just be who they want to be, you know,
Mhm.
just it's a financial way, but it also gave me an opening. Like, people do network marketing so that they'll have freedom.
Mm.
So I was like, I can be free.
Yeah.
I'm let's go. Let's do it. It's for real. Oh, we're doing network marketing so we can be rich. Okay, what is rich to you? What is rich to you? What is rich to you?
Mhm.
So rich to me was I had to go.
Mhm.
I had to go. So I started telling everybody. They're like, you can't go. I was like, you can't tell me I can't go. Nobody can tell me.
Yeah.
My mother can't tell me. It's like a calling. When you have a calling, nobody can block God
Mm.
from pulling your life.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Your mama can't, your daddy can't, your business people, nobody.
Yeah.
So then I started selling all my stuff in my apartment. I had a bad apartment. It was tough. It was tough.
Mhm.
They called it the kitty cat lily pad. It was sexy.
Yeah.
It was sexy. It was sexy. It was so sexy. It was beautiful. I went on Craigslist. I was did back in the day of Craigslist.
Mhm.
Went on Craigslist, listed everything down to the salt and pepper shakers, and started selling everything. My bed, I had a beautiful four-poster bed. I had a beautiful tall uh, wine bar glass table with a pony hair, da 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 da, just a whole bunch of just gorgeous things, but they were just things. I was ready. I had to go.
Yeah.
I had to go. So I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
I want to ask you something because this is making you very emotional.
Yeah.
And why is it making you emotional?
It was such an unbelievable part of my life.
Mhm.
When I look back at it, it's almost like, how did that even happen? It
Yeah.
was so amazing,
Yeah.
so incredible. Like, who does that?
Yeah.
I look at it and I don't even, excuse me, it's almost like having an out of body experience.
Yeah.
It's like, that's me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm reliving all of those feelings and all of those emotions that I was able, I can feel them, I can taste them,
Yeah.
I can smell them. So I apologize.
No,
I
please don't
apologize.
listen. Don't apologize because this is where we're real on this on this
Yeah,
podcast. That's what it's about.
yeah,
Being real,
yeah,
having real conversations,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and I want to ask for a moment because religion and spirituality, faith comes up a lot here. Do you feel like this was a spiritual call
Oh,
to you to
yes.
move to Jamaica?
Oh, yes. On
Yeah.
so many levels.
Hmm.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
All I did was walk it out like I promised I would do.
You were obedient to your
Because
call.
I was I was obedient.
Hmm.
I was obedient. I was obedient. When you have obedience, I was obedient. I sacrificed.
Hmm.
I sacrificed. When I met you, I didn't even have a toilet. I didn't even have a running toilet when I met you.
Oh
I
wow.
was going to the bathroom on a 5-gallon bucket, honey, and emptied it in an outhouse. Many people don't know that.
Yeah.
Many, 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 many people don't know that. People would tell me, I'm so jealous you live in Jamaica. Said, girl, you wouldn't ride like I'm riding. Trust that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be jealous of how I'm riding.
Mhm.
Believe me. Don't be jealous of me.
Yeah.
Come walk it out. Come walk it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we
Come
do
walk
have
it
to
out.
be. We do have to be mindful of not being envious of other people. But even though you're saying, hey, don't be jealous, it's still you still enjoyed it, even with having
Oh,
to
oh my God.
empty the bucket. You still were enjoying your move. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you for giving me this space to express myself. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you today. Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
I'm grateful for you as well because I knew I wanted to talk to you, about this matter, but I had no idea about the meaning of what caused you to go to Jamaica. I had no idea you were going to share all of this with us. So thank you for opening up and being so vulnerable.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me ask, did you when you once you sold all your items and you decided, okay, now I'm ready. Did you have a place to stay when you got there? Did you stay at a hotel? Did you rent like a little house? How did you set up accommodations, or did you set up before you left?
No, when I got there, I first got a hotel, and I got a hotel with a lady I had met. She was American from Atlanta.
Okay.
Her name's Carmen.
Mhm.
Shout out to Carmen. And she and I shared a hotel room, and then we looked for a long-term rental, and
Mhm.
we found one on the beach. And that's where we lived. But she only lived there very part-time,
Mhm.
because she was still working, and so she was only there like maybe a week out of the month or every 6 weeks or so. But
Okay.
I didn't live there for long.
Okay. And
hmm
so after your time was up there, where did you live? How'd you go about finding
I
new housing?
um through conversation, through getting to know people, and just really putting the spirit out there. I was tired of living in the long-term hotel. It was very noisy. It
Mhm.
was like it disrupted my spirit, but it was amazing.
Mhm.
It was amazing. Can I tell you the story about the mango?
Yeah, tell us.
Okay, so at night it would be very quiet because everyone's out or asleep, so very, very quiet. And I would lay in my bed, and I would not have on any music, no phones, no nothing. I wanted to hear the sounds of where I was, all the sounds. And if you've been to Jamaica, you hear the croaking lizards at night, and that's normal. The crickets are
Mhm.
croaking, they're croaking lizards. So so one night I kept hearing this thump, thump, thump. I was like, what is that?
Right.
What is that? What is that? And it was like a dull thump. It would happen like every few minutes, right? And it was May. It was May.
Mhm.
And May is I'll tell you, I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
So I opened the door, and first I smelled, and this air smelled real sweet, like super sweeter than normal. I could smell the sea, but I could also smell citrus. I could smell a fruit.
Mhm.
So I've kind of focused my eyes in the trees, and I find that, living in the city and living everyday life, we don't look at the trees and the scenery and the mountains. We don't really focus our eyes in on that.
Mhm.
So that was my intention there, to focus in on all levels of my senses. So I'm looking at the trees, and then all of a sudden the thump happened again. It was a mango that dropped off the tree. I saw it.
Uh-huh.
It dropped right off the tree. I was like, oh, that's the sound. That's where it's coming from. I was like, at first, I didn't even know it was a mango. Oh my
Uh-huh.
God, my mouth is watering. I didn't even know it was a mango at
Mm-hmm.
first. I didn't even know, because I was like, what is this? What is this fruit? And then I looked and I looked again, and I was like, I smelled it. I was like, oh, I was like, oh my God, this is a mango. Oh, these are mangoes. This is a mango tree.
Uh-huh.
I went crazy. I went crazy. I went crazy. I had a dress on. I picked up as many as I could, put in my dress, went back in the house, went back in the little place. I was like, wow.
It's raining mangoes.
I started, I started eating on them. I was like, oh. It is, it's so ironic, not to flip the script, but it's so ironic that in the products that I make, the mango is my best seller.
Mm.
Mango is my bestseller, and it wasn't even intentional or anything. But once I found that aroma,
Uh-huh.
once I found the aroma and I smelled it, it took me back. It took me back to that day.
Uh-huh.
It took me back. So I was like, oh, this is the mango. This I'm used the word. We got mango. We got mango.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's my mango story. Oh my God. So I lived there. Then I found a guest house
Mm-hmm.
an American woman had, an African American woman had. So, and it was on the beach still, on the morass side, because you got the beach side and the morass side. So it was on the morass side, and I lived there for a little while
Okay.
until I didn't. That was a funny story how I didn't, but then I moved on and I got my own apartment. I got my own apartment, my own, it was a little two-bedroom apartment at that,
Mm-hmm.
had a peekaboo view of the ocean. It was $600 a month.
Nice.
And it was up in Hermitage, is what they call it. Hermitage,
Mm-hmm.
almost to red ground.
You found your place to live, your apartment. Did you find it by talking to like local people? Like like in, I don't know if people still use it. I'm gonna sound real old school right now. But in the States we have the penny saver, right? Remember the penny saver before Zillow
Of
and
course.
all those,
Yeah.
Trulia, all those things on apartment.com. We had penny savers. So I
Right.
mean, how did you how did you find
Nah, man, you have to ask somebody over there. Then they say, oh, you go over there, so the yellow house there, so you make one left where Mr. Myrie stay. Yeah, man, Mr. Myrie make the good bag juice, man. So once you go around that corner, you'll meet up with one youth and he'll give you some information. You hear?
I love it. I love it. Oh, okay. So one thing, as you might already can tell, is I like to talk about food. We're gonna talk about your living, but
Okay.
listen,
Okay, yeah, let's talk about the food.
Jamaican
Yes.
food. Okay.
Yes, Jamaican food.
So
Yes.
like Jessica and I already talked about, I'm vegan now, right? But I wasn't always vegan. Okay.
Woo
And
woo.
so I remember before I even went to Jamaica, I used to make curry chicken. And I used to I love the rice and peas. I love the plantain. I love the way the Jamaicans make their cabbage. I make my cabbage like that now. What else I like? Did I say jerk chicken? Jerk chicken, curry chicken.
Jerk
I
chicken.
loved it all, right?
Uh-huh.
But I remember my very
Uh-huh.
first meal in Jamaica was curry goat, and it was really good. Yeah, it was really
Mm.
good. So take us, let us explore your food journey there. Like, what was some of your favorite things that you ate when you were in Jamaica?
Okay. So I'm gonna disappoint you because I'm not much of a foodie.
Oh,
I'm not much of a
it's all
foodie.
right.
I'm a very
That's all
I'm a
right.
very basic I'm a basic eater. Not a basic eater, but I'm not much of a foodie.
Mm-hmm.
So I never to this day I've never tried curry goat.
Okay.
I've never tried curry goat, but I've seen it and it does smell good, look good, all of that.
Uh-huh.
But what's my favorite? Like I love the beach food when they would come by. But I'm gonna get into more food, but
Uh-huh.
these are my favorites.
Okay.
So I love the cocoa bread. I love the cocoa bread.
Mm-hmm.
Hot cocoa bread. I
Uh-huh.
love hot cocoa bread. I love the rum cake. Rum cake. I went
Mm-hmm.
to Miss Brown's bakery one time and she said, "You want to try one little piece of a rum cake?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yes, I do." So she said, "Here, let me fix it up for you. Let me fix it up for you." So she takes the piece of this is in her bakery. It's beautiful. It's in Red Ground. Well, it was in Red Ground. I don't know where it is now, but
Uh-huh.
anyway, or in Good Hope. So anyway, so she takes a little cake. It's only a little tiny rum cake, and she takes and she puts another shot of rum on it. She
Whoa.
said, let me fix it up a little bit for you now. Here? I said, okay. So that was the best, that was the best, the best piece of rum cake I ever had. It was strong. I had to take my time with it. I had to take my time with it. Um, but I think that I became kind of vegan in Jamaica
Mm-hmm.
because I loved callaloo, callaloo,
Oh,
callaloo, callaloo,
yes. Oh.
callaloo. I would make callaloo quesadillas. I would make callaloo wraps. I would eat callaloo raw in a salad.
Mm-hmm.
Callaloo has to be my absolute favorite. I'm not a seafood person,
Mm-hmm.
so I love aki, but now I love saltfish, and I come from Jamaica, no way. So so I miss nothing.
Yeah.
So so I don't like saltfish. Um but the food there, all in all, is rich.
Mm-hmm.
It's rich in flavor, and I find that Jamaicans, like Americans, we eat to socialize. You know what I mean? Everything we do. Do you want to
Right.
but they eat, and this is just my experience
Mm-hmm.
of being in my yard and being there. So if any Jamaicans are on the line, don't come for me. This is my
Right.
experience, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So um they eat to nourish.
Mm-hmm.
They eat to nourish. I remember being at the shop one day and I had eggs and something else and bread. And the Jamaican lady, she had fish, rice and peas, and something else. And she said, "That's an American breakfast. This is a Jamaican breakfast."
Mm.
And I was like, ah, they're not eating no eggs and bacon and all that in the
Mm-hmm.
morning. They might have some stew.
Mm-hmm.
They might have some veg and fish. You know what I'm saying? So they eat differently.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So that was the biggest food lesson of being in Jamaica. And I had the opportunity to grow a lot of my own food and learn how to, thanks to my now former husband, always life friend Nigel. So yeah.
That I think that's so cool. I want to hear more about your garden in just a sec, but I want to tell you because when you say Callaloo, so this past weekend because I wasn't feeling well, I was like I need to get some stuff to like make myself feel better. So I went to Atlanta to the farmers market. I went to the DeKalb farmers market, and I have been looking for this for years. I was not able to find it. But I had a feeling that I was going to find it at the farmers market, and I found Callaloo. Oh, you would have thought. Yes, I found
Oh my
Callaloo.
God.
Yes, I
Wow.
found Callaloo. I was like, oh my God. I cannot believe I found Callaloo, right? And yes, I
Wow.
remember being at the treehouse, at Miss Gale's
Uh-huh.
hotel.
Uh-huh.
And,
Uh-huh.
they have kind of, they serve like a traditional American breakfast. But the last
The
time I
mix.
went back, I had already given up meat. And so I remember
Mm-hmm.
for breakfast, I had a bowl of grits topped with callaloo. And girl, you talking
Isn't
about
that the
good?
best combination in the
Oh,
world? I
yes.
know what you mean. I've had it.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, that's the and those grits at Treehouse, there ain't no grits like that.
Oh,
There's something that happens. Those grits
it's
are
love.
yummy. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm going to be cooking my callaloo. Maybe I'll send you a picture. But man,
You have to.
when I tell
Yes.
you, I was so happy to find that callaloo. Oh, yeah. So
I
I
bet.
can see myself probably going there maybe every, 6 weeks to 8 weeks to the DeKalb Farmers Market to get.
Right,
And let me
right,
tell you,
right.
when you eat that callaloo, it really does cleanse your body. And I don't mean like in a laxative, but you can feel it. I mean, it just feels so good in your body, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And out it's
It
too
it
go ahead.
it gives you iron. It's very rich in iron.
Yeah.
It's very because I have low iron,
Mhm.
so the callaloo, like, and if you have low iron or even not, it's enriching and
Yes.
giving you that. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
Yes. I'll tell you one other dish that I had at the girls' treehouse, and I had never had this before. It was, you know how Lisa Laws has like the beach party after the marathon,
Uh-huh.
and so
Uh-huh.
it was like a buffet, and they had a black eyed pea salad. I had,
Oh yeah, the Gale's black eyed peas. So oh my
oh,
God,
I
yes.
had never, ever, ever, ever had black eyed pea salad until then. And since then, I have made it a couple times. And I remember
Yes.
a friend of mine, she wasn't going to eat her food or something like that, right? And I was like, "Can I
Uh-huh.
have your food ticket?" I was, I
Right
was
now.
like, I was like, "I'll give you the other stuff, but I just want that black eyed pea salad."
Right, 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 right.
Oh man, that black eyed peas salad. I was because have if you've never tried something, you're like, oh, just give me a little bit, right? When I went
Mhm.
back, I wanted
Mhm.
a lot of it. Like give me
Okay.
give me
It
that
all.
person don't want their serving, give me their serving.
Right, 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 right now. Right now. Right now.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I definitely have good food memories of
Yes,
Jamaica. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So so you were saying that you were doing the mid-level marketing, right? With the body shaper.
Multi-level marketing.
I
Mhm.
apologize. Multi-lever. You
Mhm.
were
It's
doing
okay.
multi-lever marketing. Did you continue
Mhm.
that while you were there in Jamaica, or did you find another way to make money, to take care of yourself? Or did you already have some money saved where you were able to take care of yourself
I lost my whole organization and my check.
when you moved to Jamaica? Is it because you disconnected or did they disconnect from you?
I was still connected, but a lot of them disconnected from me
Mhm.
because they went to another company.
Mhm.
And then finally, after a few months, I decided to go to that said company
Mhm.
as well.
Mhm.
And then that's whenever the artists, they cut me off.
Okay.
But then months later, it got sorted out. I left the other company and came back to artists.
Okay.
So, yeah. But but I was pretty broke. Um I I was on the beach one day and was just every day just there because I had my residual income, right?
Mhm.
And before everything happened, I had my residual income,
Mhm.
and and I decided to take a class to learn how to teach yoga. It
Mhm.
was a yoga teacher's training class,
Mm.
and I decided to take the class.
Mhm.
I said, dang, I'm really not doing anything. I mean, I'm serving my group. I had a what I called the West Coast wake up call every morning
Mhm.
at 7 a.m. And I would be on there with information, inspiration, and motivation. So I still kept up my call.
Mhm.
But after my call in the morning, there was nothing else really for me to do,
Right.
right? So, anyway, I joined the yoga teacher training course. I went my first couple of days. I was like, this is hard. I weigh way more than everybody here. Nobody here looks like me. This is over my head. This is not for me. I don't have the right clothes. I don't have I don't have what it takes. So I went to the teacher and I told him, I was like, thank you so much for the past 3 days. It's been wonderful, but basically I'm out. I can't do it. It's not, it's
Mhm.
not for me. I'm not, I'll never be able to remember all these things. And he told me, he was like, no, you can't quit. It was a month-long program.
Mhm.
And he said, you can't quit, but you have something to give the world. So
You
you've got to
stick
do
with this.
this.
Mhm.
You got to stick with this. And so I did.
Good.
I did. Yeah,
Good.
yeah. So I ended up losing 25 pounds.
Oh
Ended
wow.
up like really like, yeah, it was amazing. I ended up really, I didn't lose 25 pounds. I released
Release
25
20.
pounds.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
when you could lose something, you can get it back.
Right.
So I released the weight, I released the insecurities, I released all of those things, and I gained, all of the goodness. I didn't know all the words by heart. I
Yeah.
still don't, but I know the feeling.
Mhm.
That's why I was able to, be with you
Yeah.
on the paddle boards. So I started doing that, but I didn't start with the paddle boards. I
Okay.
didn't start with that. I started at Jackie's on the Reef. You
Mhm.
know Jackie's on the Reef.
Yeah.
So I had met her in a store because my first time whenever I saw Dr. Scott, I also was taken to Jackie's on the Reef
Okay.
and got a massage and met Jackie. So I was remiss for leaving that out. But so I had seen her one day in the grocery store, and I said, uh, um, I, I'm in a teacher training program, a yoga teacher training program. And she said, well, when you graduate, come up and see me. You got a job. And I was like,
Wow.
okay. I
What a
mean,
blessing.
Jackie's is like a castle in the sky, right? I
Right.
mean, it's so magnificent. And I was like, and people used to think I was her daughter there. They used to think I was her daughter. There were times where my back would be turned and they would call her and I would turn and it would be me and they would think it was her. So it was a real like connection.
Yeah.
So I get up there, my one of my first classes, there were some people there. They were pretty famous people,
Mhm.
and I was so nervous. I doubt myself a lot of times. So people see me greater than I see myself.
Mhm.
So that's one of my secrets,
Yeah.
one of my secret sufferings.
Mhm.
So anyway, I go to Jackie and I'm standing there and she and I are about the same height. At that time, our bodies were about the same leanness, but she's at this time, she's in her 70s already. And I'm still in my 40s.
Yeah.
So standing next to her and I'm like, I don't think I could do this. I'm pretty nervous. I'm sure they know way more about yoga than me. I don't know if I could do this. And she did like this. She said, "You better get over there and teach them people that yoga. You can do this. Go on now." I was like,
Yes, ma'am.
"Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." I walked over to those people. As I walked over, I said, "Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you for sending me strength. Thank you for sending somebody that can that'll rough me up a little
Right.
bit. Thank you for sending me somebody who's not going to just say, 'Okay, well, I'll do the class for you,' or 'Okay, well, you know, it's like thank you for sending somebody that believed in me more than I believed in myself,
Yeah.
you know?" So went on to teach them, went on to teach at Jackie's. Then Gail was like, "Well, I want some yoga over here too." So, Gail, Gail was like, "Well," because me and Gail became friends. I met Gail uh, um, um, when her first husband passed. I had went and extended an offer to her to do a yoga session with her, just as an offering. I didn't know her, I didn't know him,
Yeah.
but and she was from Pittsburgh. She's from Pittsburgh
Yeah.
like me. She's from my hometown. So anyway, that's how I met Gail. So me, Gail, Jackie, there's like the American
Connection.
triangle
Uh-huh.
there. Yeah, the connection, but there's many more American
Mm-hmm.
connection women that whew, rocked my world and just held me and while I was there. But anyway, so Gail was like, "I want some yoga over here." So I started teaching yoga at Gail's up in the room that's up there.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
The
Where the
uh-huh.
breakfast is
So
served. Uh-huh.
no, no, no.
Not there?
Across from there.
Oh.
Across from there. The upstairs. There's like a community room, like a
Oh. Oh yeah. Above the
yeah,
store.
above the store.
Yeah.
Above
Okay.
the
Okay.
store.
Yeah.
Above the store. So I started teaching in there and every day that I taught there it was good, but I'd look out the window and I felt like a trapped bird,
Mm-hmm.
in there. Felt like a trapped bird, and I didn't want to turn on the AC. I'd open all the windows, and I just still felt like a trapped bird. So one day, Gail was she was doing paddleboard. She got the paddle boards, and so she's like, "Jessica, you know how to paddleboard?" I was like, "No, but I'm an avid swimmer." Diver,
Mm-hmm.
da 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 da. I'm a straight mermaid. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, let's do it, So went out there and then there was a yoga retreat that I was a part of and the teacher wanted to do some moves on the paddle boards. And so then I was like,
Hmm.
I wonder if there's something like this. And so I looked it up and there was SUP yoga, stand up paddleboard yoga. And I studied and studied and studied. And I was like, wow, this is so cool.
Yeah.
But there was no place that did it in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So we came up with a plan. I was like, I'll do sup yoga. Dominique, no one would come.
Mm.
No one would come. No one would come. They weren't having it. Maybe one person here and there. I was like, wow, this is so magnificent. Like, wonder why people just they won't do it. So I said, let's call it liquid yoga. Let's call it liquid yoga. Let's take the pressure off.
Yeah.
Stand up paddleboard yoga. Like, that's deep. Like, that's
Yeah.
scary. Like, you want me to do what? I'm on vacation. Like, please. So I said, let's change it to liquid yoga. And we're not standing up. We're not standing up the whole time. No one stands up. I even had a man ask me from New York, he goes, "Why don't you stand up? We're doing I said, nah, we're not doing that. We're laying on the board. We're listening to our heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
We're opening our eyes. We're looking out into the hills. This is a different flow." And so I kind of got my groove and I got my own style and
Yeah.
and it's still some yoga moves, but it's in my flow,
Yeah.
so and then I wanted to share it. And so once I changed it up and became myself, and shared that, it worked. Everybody wanted to come then.
Wow. And all you had to do is
Yes.
change up a little bit. Yeah, and they
Change
were
up this.
open.
They were open. They were open.
Yeah.
They were open.
Wow. That is so cool. And I can just imagine how it might have felt out there. Just being there, listening to the ocean. Yeah. And you got to do that every day with a different group of people.
5 days a week.
That's awesome. So it's like
Yeah.
they were paying you to, I don't know, renew yourself each day. You helped them and they helped
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. They helped me and I helped them,
Hmm.
but both we helped each other.
Yeah.
But then I got empty. I emptied out.
Yeah. What? How so?
I just emptied out over the years, over the time
Hmm.
between that and everything that was happening in my yard with my business. We
Hmm.
had an almond business. I mean, he still has an almond business, but and I just I just became empty. Just became empty emotionally, mentally. It was like I just didn't I was pouring out, but there just wasn't enough pouring back in.
Mm. Yeah. There's a saying a lot of people use now is you have to pour from your salsa. So you have to make sure your cup is filled. And when your cup is filled, anything extra you have, like a teacup, anything extra you have, it spills over into the saucer, right? And so when you
Yes, I love
give,
that.
you're giving from your salsa because everything that you have filled up in your cup, that's for you.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
gonna write that down.
Yeah.
I needed that. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think that's a lesson that we all, especially women, you know, women, not to say that men are not nurturers, but excuse me, women, we're such nurturers. And sometimes we can give, and give until we don't have anything left. And yeah, we can feel like you felt then, empty. But we have to learn to
Yeah.
fill ourselves, fill up our cups, and pour from our saucers. And I would say the same thing happens with those who are caretakers, whether you're a caretaker
Hmm.
professionally or if you have a family member or a friend that you're helping to take care of. Sometimes you can get so overwhelmed and consumed with their well-being that you deprive yourself of proper food, you prop of rest. And so I don't know why this is even coming up. This is not part of part of it, but maybe
Because it was
somebody,
supposed to.
right, somebody's supposed to hear this. So whoever you are, yeah, it's you,
Me.
Jessica. Fill
Me.
fill yourself up
Me.
and pour from your
Thank you.
saucer.
Me.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And you know what? Your remind your grandson and his girlfriend that of that because they have a new baby now. And a lot of
Hmm.
people will tell new parents, "Oh, you're not going to get any sleep. Don't yes, babies do wake up, right? But don't
Hmm.
let people feed that into their spirit that,
Mm.
oh, now you have to be sleep deprived because
Right.
you have this baby. You know,
Right.
they have to just adjust. When baby sleeps, they
Hmm.
sleep. When baby's up, they're up.
Hmm.
And it might not be for the
Hmm.
same amount of time, but they're gonna have to
Hmm.
fill themselves up. Otherwise, they're
Hmm.
just gonna be little walking mommy and daddy zombies. You know. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
encourage them
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gonna
Um,
write that down too.
yeah, please. Um,
That's wonderful. Thank you.
you're welcome. So, Jessica, when you moved to Jamaica, did you have to have any documents in order to live there? If so, tell us what. Because there may be someone who is interested. I know when I, okay, let me back up for a second. You know how you said when you got to Jamaica, you felt like you were at home? When
Mhm.
I go, that's the feeling that I have. I
Mhm.
feel
Mhm.
the first time I
Mhm.
went, I was looking all around like, oh my gosh. But if I go back now, I sit back in the car, in the van, I'm like, we're just going home. It's such it's such a
Yes.
comfort. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yes.
So for someone who may be saying, you know what, maybe I might want to spend some time in Jamaica, what
Mhm.
kind of documents do they need?
Okay, so you can't just move there. It's
Uh-huh.
not it's not it's not that simple,
Hmm.
and so first, we as Americans, we can only be there 6 months at a time.
Okay.
So when I first went, I would leave to reset my clock.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I would leave to reset my clock. But I did go and get myself a TRN number. So a TRN number is like a social security number there.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Anybody can go get one. So you go to the government office, you sit there for however many hours that you have patience for.
Yes.
Not easy in a Jamaica.
Your island
So,
time.
yes, man, dear God. So, anyway, I would set the clock 6 months, 6 months, 6 months.
Hmm.
I would set the clock. So I was there actually for 9 months
Hmm.
when I met Nigel.
Hmm.
So so um, at that time when I met him, I was trying to get a work permit. Okay.
Hmm.
So work permit will give you the capacity to live there full time. So until that time, you cannot work, you cannot volunteer, you cannot do anything. It's very strict, um, and you know, and they're strict on that
Hmm.
as it is. So you can't walk up in there and be like, "Ah, I'm going to go get me a job," and don't work like that. So I applied for a work. I was about to apply for a work permit at that time in 2012. 2012. It cost $2,000 for a work permit.
Okay.
And whenever you apply for a work permit, and this seems like it's a trend in different places because I lived in the Bahamas too.
Hmm.
So it's a trend where the employer has to run an ad to make sure there is a Jamaican that can have your said job because they get the jobs first,
Okay.
rightfully so,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So there's an ad that's run, and then there's an ad that's run that says, okay, are there any Jamaican yoga teachers that can come down and teach yoga in Negril, Jamaica? Oh,
Okay.
there aren't any? Okay, all right. So we'll give you a chance. So it costs $2,000. So here's the thing though, the pay, it may take you maybe about 6 months to a year to even recoup that $2,000 because the pay is not very high for Jamaicans, so how is it going to be any higher for you as an
Right.
American? Unless you're
Hmm.
working, maybe if you're working for a corporation or I don't know about that. I just know about, the basic jobs that were there.
Okay.
So and as a yoga teacher, I made $20 per student and then I had to split that.
Hmm.
And I only had 6 students a day if I had 6 students every day. So, it wasn't like I was making so much money, you know what I mean,
Right.
to be
Hmm.
able to offset. So, if you're going to go work down there, I would say not. I would say if I was to give anybody advice, I would say don't go down there trying to work. If you're going to live there, come with some money. Come with
Mhm.
some money and have some type of income that's
Um,
coming in every month.
okay. That's really good
Hmm.
advice. That TRN number, can you apply for that prior to your arrival to Jamaica, or do you can only apply for it once you're there?
That's an in person. All these documents are in person.
Okay.
They're in person. And your TRN, like you don't need it right away,
Mhm.
but if you're gonna really live there, you will eventually need it because you need that TRN to get your electric turned on. You need it to get your cable turned on.
Mhm.
If you wanna, if you, I think you could get a phone without a TRN number. Oh, no, you can't because somebody got me my first phone with
Okay.
their TRN number. And then I lost the phone and I couldn't even, I had to go to Digicel in person, had to show them my TRN. Like they're pretty thorough, but
Mhm.
like their system is a little slow, but it is what it is. And that's something that this is a humongous thing if I don't say anything else about moving, especially to Jamaica, because I mean, yeah, I lived in Puerto Rico, but still, I lived in Jamaica. That's the
Mhm.
only place I've ever really like seriously lived. My biggest thing is that don't and whenever you go, not saying you, but I'm saying anyone who
Right.
would want to go, don't go expecting things to be like they are in America. Know that you must have some serious patience, serious
Mhm.
humility. Um, I got like rushed out of a government office one day. I went in there. I had on a shirt that was maybe similar to this, might have been similar to this, maybe not cut as much, maybe more up to here because I was taking care of business. And I was going to go get something. I was in the employment office. I was going to get some kind of sign off or something for my work permit. Um, so I walk in, everyone's quiet, and they all look at me. And I get to the front desk, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm here to get my, whew." And he gets up out of his seat. He's like, "You have to get out. You have to go. You have to go. You have to go." I was like, "What? What? What?" So he takes me outside and he's like, "You can't be in here without any sleeves on." I was like, "Oh my God, you made me feel like I came in here and committed a crime." He's like, "You can come back, but go get some sleeves." So walked about a half a mile till I found a store, got me a little jacket, went back in. So I'm saying that to say that there's a lot of little idiosyncrasies that are there. I mean, maybe if you have a guide, you won't have to deal with that. Like, I didn't have a guide. I was self-guided. I
Mhm.
had people that helped me along the way,
Right.
but I got in that route taxi, took that 30-minute ride to Sav
Mhm.
and walked around, not with navigation, not with, Google Maps, because I have a little Digicel phone that
Mhm.
doesn't have all that on
Right.
there. So
Right.
you know I'm just trying to figure out my way, and you got to talk, you got to
Mhm.
talk to people, so that's how I found my way. So I would say if anything, if and probably this probably holds true to moving to any country, and I'm saying it because when I was there, I would see people do it all the time. They're like, "Oh, why they do this? Well, we don't do that at home." And what is this? And it's
Mhm.
like, no, no, you're not in your country.
Hello.
You're not in your country.
Mhm.
This is their country.
Yep.
The best you can do it is sit back and be quiet. I probably
Mhm.
used my voice the very least when I lived in Jamaica, at the very least, because I was quiet and listening so much
Mhm.
and just watching movements. So yeah, I didn't mean to. cut that, but
No,
you know,
but that's really important
it just came on
because
me.
yeah, because sometimes people go somewhere, right? You're so used to in America saying, "Oh, well, this is how we do it." Well, yeah, that may
Excuse
be
me.
how it's done here, but it's not done somewhere else, and so you have to
Right.
adjust to the local customs.
Mhm.
That's just like if someone was moving from somewhere to the US, right? And they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, well, I do such and such." You're like, "Oh, we don't do that in America." So if it's good for them, it's good for you, right?
Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
And so you have to learn the local customs, you
That's
know.
right. And
Um
embrace them almost.
Yeah. I mean, because if this is some place that you are wanting to live or spend a significant amount of time, in order for you to enjoy yourself, you have to let go of some of the things that you maybe, thought was important at home and adjust to how things are. Yes, when you go back to the US or wherever, that person may be from, yes, you can do that. But when you're here, you follow their rules. Kind of like it's almost kind of like going back to be a kid, in your parents' house. These are the rules,
Yeah.
you know?
I became a child. I became a
Hmm.
child. I became a child in that new land. That's a
Yeah.
very good description. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There was something else I wanted to ask you, but I can't remember. Uh, so if you had to, well, we already kind of gave it. Let's say if you had to give advice to someone who wants to live abroad, it was basically what we just talked about, learning to adjust to the local culture. Yeah.
Mhm.
And okay,
Mhm.
so one thing I notice whenever I go to Jamaica, is nobody wants the Jamaican dollars. Everybody wants the US dollars. So, um, when
There's a
you were
reason.
there, did you is it because of the exchange rate, right?
Yes, I want the US dollar, baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
pay me in US dollars. And right now it's like 1.37 or something. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's what they want, the US dollars. Mhm.
Yeah. So when I go, the first time I went, I exchanged money, but I learned at that trip I will not be exchanging any money because nobody wants it.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny thing that happened. And I know it was all coming from a good place, but I wonder how did this young girl explain this to her parents. So when this is the first trip, we were leaving to go back to the airport, and we stopped at a little, like a convenience store, right? And there was a little girl
Mhm.
there. She was, maybe going home from for lunch. She had her uniform,
Mhm.
and somebody asked her, they're like, "Oh, can I take a picture with you?" And so she said yes. And so after they took the
Mhm.
picture, they gave her some money, like as a thank you. And
Mhm.
so everybody else on the bus was like, "Oh, can I get a picture?" And so everybody was just going to take a picture, or even some people didn't take pictures. They were just like, "Here," and they were just giving her all of this money, right?
Uh-huh.
And I
Uh-huh.
mean, for this little girl, she just looked overwhelmed, like, what in the world is happening? What is
Right,
happening?
right, right,
But
right, right.
I do wonder, how did she go home and say, all these American people gave
They're used to it.
us?
They're
Okay.
used to it.
Okay.
Mommy, 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 look what happened, mommy. Mommy, the American them, they say me pretty, mommy. Mommy, they take one picture with me, mommy. But guess what? Guess what? Guess what? My Jamaican grandmother, she wouldn't allow her kids to have to for people to take pictures of them when they were little.
Hmm.
She tell them, don't allow the tourists.
Okay.
You can't let the tourists and them take pictures of your man. They capture your soul.
You know what? That
That's what she used to say.
I think that is also, I'm trying to think. There's another culture that believes that.
Mm.
Doesn't.
She's very old too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's her, that's her mentality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
I know I've had you on here for a little while, and I don't want to
Mhm.
take up too much of your time, but I do want to ask you to close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to take this moment and don't think about the how, and I
Mhm.
want you to dream big.
Mhm.
And what dream do you have for your future?
Hmm. Living where I can grow my food. I can be by the sea, smelling the fresh air, hearing the birds. It's my heart's desire. It's my soul yearns for it every single day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
I pray for you just like
Thank you.
God made a way for you to go to Jamaica and live there,
Mhm.
wherever He
Mhm.
wants to send you, so that your dream can be fulfilled. I pray that He makes a way. It may not be today, may not be tomorrow, but I pray that He allows your dream to come forth and you be able to live that dream.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
I get, for those who are watching this, you guys can see that Jessica has a kind of like a laboratory behind her. And as you guys can hear, Jessica is an entrepreneur. So she's done marketing, she has yoga. You guys don't know it, but in Jamaica, she had an almond business, as well as a Jamaican black castor oil business. So she is no stranger to hard work. I won't even say hard work, but work that she enjoys. And so before you go, I want you to share with us, how can they get in contact with you, because you mentioned that you use that mango scent in your products. So if they want to be able to experience some of the things, and if you want to take a moment to tell us what all you offer and how they can contact you to try out some of your products, because I know it's going to be good. I don't know you to be a half stepper, so I know it's going to be good.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share. I It's a gift God just kind of sprinkled on me.
Mm-hmm.
I make vegan bath and body products,
Mm-hmm.
like vegan bath bombs. Let's see. Vegan bath bombs. They're what makes them vegan is that um, there's no dyes or perfumes. There's no coloring. The coloring is vegan, so there's no animal products in here that are going to absorb into your skin.
Okay.
I make vegan I make vegan body butter, vegan sugar scrub. Um, what else? Lip balm. I'm gonna send you a box. I'm gonna send you a box. I'm gonna send
Oh,
you a box.
really?
Of course. Send me your mailing address. Send me your mailing address. Of
Oh my
course.
gosh, look, I'm
Of
so
course.
overwhelmed, I'm choking.
Of course. No, of course. Of course. Of course. So I make these wonderful things. It's truly a gift from God. I don't even my main before I did network marketing and after I did network marketing, I did real estate. I'm a real estate broker in California and in Florida. And so real estate is where I've made my money in my life, real estate and network marketing.
Okay.
So those two things are so far from mixing up products and look, mixing up products and making stuff. And let me see what we got here. This is This is body butter right here. This is
Nice.
body butter I made yesterday. It's lavender. You should smell it. It's amazing. I know it has a different label on here, but that's all right. And then I make these loofah soaps.
Nice.
Just
You listen
I
when I see your videos of you, you look like you're having such fun when you're making things.
it is. I love it. It's so cool. And then when you put it on your body, you got all my happy vibes in you. So
Nice.
Um,
What?
my website is ladyjorganics.com. So it's www.lady, the letter J, organics.com. And I'm Lady J Organics on everything: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, um, YouTube, and you inspired me to perk up my Jessica's Jamaica YouTube. So I was on there last night until 2 o'clock in the morning looking at all the videos. I was like, oh my God, my life. Oh my God. So there's tons of videos on my YouTube, Jessica's Jamaica, and then you'll see all my products on my YouTube, Lady J Organics, and I'm just living, y'all. I'm just living. I'm just walking it out, just walking it out.
Nice.
I don't even know. I don't know what's next. Oh yeah, I do. I do. I do. The book Jessica's Jamaica. It's coming out
Mhm.
soon. You've also inspired me. I've been absolutely stuck writing a book for the past probably for the past 10 years, but intensely for the past year. And I I really have gotten pushed into action because of you. So I just really want to thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much. Yeah,
Well,
thank
none
you.
of this happens
Thank
by
you.
accident. None of it.
True,
None of it happens by
true.
accident. And so I want to give a shout out to somebody, and that person will be Lisa Laws.
Ah, yes,
Because,
Lisa Laws. Lisa
yeah,
Laws.
we talk about this on the podcast because we have to use our gifts, right? When we use our gifts, we're able to bless other people. So if Lisa had not answered the call, used her gift, I may not have made that trip to Jamaica when I did, and I wouldn't have had a chance to meet you. So, yes, that thing happens. I mean, there's more people involved, but we gonna give this shout out to
Yeah,
Lisa, right?
we'll give it on the micro. Yes, yes,
One
yes,
time for
yes.
Lisa.
One time for Lisa.
Yes. Well, thank you, Jessica, and thank you, those of
Thank
you who are
you.
listening. Thank you so much for tuning in to another conversation at the table with D. Monique. Like I said at the beginning, if you want to come on this podcast, if you have a great experience and story to share, please contact me. My contact information will be in the show notes. I'll also include Jessica's information just in case you didn't get a chance to write that down. You might be driving. We'll put her information in the show notes. So thank you again. Until next time, be blessed and peace.
Thank you for joining us today. Come back next Thursday for a new episode of At the Table with D. Monique podcast. Don't forget to bring a snack.